It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I've discovered something, Gary.
Yeah.
My lovely bride and I, we were over the hills and through the woods over the weekend, and traveling, and we're in the car and we're listening to some Christmas music, and I've decided at a certain age, because we're about to go on our break, our year-end break after tomorrow's show. Have no fear, our friend Dan Mandis is going to be filling in while we're gone. Everybody loves Dan, and we love Dan, and we're grateful to have him. But by the time we return, I will hit my 60th birthday, right? So I'll hit the big 6-0, right? Now, I'm not completely giving up, but I'm starting. And the reason is because it's just my way to prepare. But I think we should change some of the lyrics in some of the Christmas songs. As we age, tidings of comfort and joy for me becomes tidings of comfort or joy. You can't have both. So I just think it's okay for us older people to start rearranging some of the lyrics. We'll just, you can't have both at a certain age. You can have a little, and it's a very little comfort, and then, it's all relative,
And you're a youngin'.
Yeah, I'm a youngin'.
So when you get to be my age.
Well, it's it was about a year and a half ago. We're at this place, this restaurant, and this lady that was sitting close to our table mentioned something. She was on the phone with an adult child of hers, and she goes, "I'm sorry that was so loud." She goes, I have adult children and blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, we do too. My wife had gone to the restroom and was on her way back. And I said, and we have 8 grandchildren. She goes, 8 grandchildren? And she says this. She says, listen, I'm not hitting on you or anything. Like, that was what I was worried about. Hey, lady, don't try and hit on me. Women do this all the time.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it's just.
Me too.
Yeah, it's just. Like, that was what I was doing. Hey, I'm not trying to hit on you, but you don't look a day. This was last year and a half ago. I was 58. She goes, you don't look a day over 62. And I said, thank you. Thank you very much. But to be frank, I am 94 years old. So I just, it was like, when I told my wife that, we got in the car, I said, okay, you didn't hear the best part of that. My wife was walking up and she didn't hear that. That was, to me, that was the punchline. You don't look a day over 62. I'm only 38. So I've just resigned to the fact that we're going to have to, I'm going to have to make changes. I think they're reasonable changes as we go along. And quite honestly, we can have tidings of comfort or tidings of joy, but we can't have comfort and joy.
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, I every day attempt to convince myself that 70 is the new 40.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really work at that every day.
Yeah.
Because it's a very, very tough thing. Look, I figured that, as Dad told me, people want to be BS'd. Yeah. So I'm really trying to see if that works.
Yeah. Well, my banking app texted me that the other day. They said you're overdrawn. 70 is not the new 40. So when it comes to money, that's not the case.
Yeah, I'm really trying to BS myself into that, but I haven't been able to convince myself. And I'm telling you, it's repetition every day.
Yeah.
70 is the new 40. 70 is the new 40. I mean, I'm obsessed with it. Okay,
yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well, I sit around and, I don't watch infomercials anymore, but back in the day with infomercials, you had that P90X tape, where you had these people are professional models and and athletes. They've been working out since pretty much they were in a crib, and they, you sit there and you're lying on the couch going, man, I'm going to order that. And then with the mindset of, oh, I can do that. 90 days, I can do that. And then, you think to yourself, oh, wait a minute. I don't have the strength to sit up and go get my phone in order to order it, let alone taking this DVD or whatever it was and putting it in my DVD player. For you kids under the age of 60, a DVD player was this thing that we used to watch movies on. And I still have that. I still have this time when, like, I'll be doing show prep in the office at the house, sitting around. I'm sitting. I'll see something. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to start running 5 miles. Back in the day, I used to run 5 miles a day. I think I'm going to start running 5 miles a day. And then I have to stand up and go get something.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm realizing, I'm lucky to stand up.
But you know what I found out, because I had a good workout weekend. I mean, and I was riding, especially like early when it gets night, early evening, whatever, when it gets dark, because it's great. It's great just riding the bike and looking at all the different Christmas lights on the residential roads, and because that's what I really stick to. You hardly ever pass a car, so it's really safe, and I've got a massive headlight on it. But the resistance training, the bike riding this weekend, just everything else, and you had mentioned the all the different exercising equipment. There's a one guy, I forgot what he does, and I'm 75 years old, and he's got his shirt off, and I've learned this. It doesn't matter how much I do resistance training, and I do it probably 2 to 3 times a week, and it's 2 hours every time. I mean, you got to rest up, and you have to after the reps, you have to do it and ride the bike probably 3-4 times a week, 15 to 20 miles. You still can't take your shirt off,
right?
I mean, that's the point. You still can't. It doesn't matter. You cannot at a certain point get to that. Well, if I work out hard enough, I can take off my shirt in public.
Right. Because there were two men on one certain day that could do that and actually impress. And they were on the same stage. Lou Ferrigno, this is 1974. Lou Ferrigno and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Olympia 74. This is the biggest that Arnold ever was. But Lou Ferrigno outweighed him by 10, 12 pounds. But the symmetry that Arnold had, I just watched this part of this documentary just a couple of days ago, and I'm like, they don't even look human. They were so massive. Arnold looked bigger, even though Lou Ferrigno, who ended up playing the Hulk on television for several years, was actually bigger. Arnold pulled it off, and it was the biggest he ever was. That one day, those two men got away with having their shirts off and
weren't
looking
70.
impressive. Yes, exactly.
That's the point. The point is the 60s and the 70s. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Back then, yes, they could do it. Anybody who wants me at this time in my life must want me for my brain.
Well, see, and that rules me out, which is why I'm so grateful for my wife. I'm so grateful for her. It's like,
but it was,
you love me for my brain, right? Where'd you go, honey?
It was a good weekend, though.
Yeah.
Doing all the stuff I want to do for Christmas, seeing the people I want to see.
Yeah.
My last banana bread, by the way, only 4 this year.
Yeah.
Only 4 loaves.
All right.
Remember, I got up to 40?
Yeah.
In 2019, I got up to 40.
Yeah.
And I had to stop.
Yeah.
And COVID really sort of stopped it for me, but I had no time from November 1st through Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, when you realize 40 things that with everything else we're doing in our lives, you've got to make time for 40 loaves of banana bread because it became so popular. And it's grandmother's recipe.
Yeah.
My late grandmother on my mom's side. And
my wife used to have an assembly line. I mean, it was just unreal for weeks and weeks at a time. Because she would do not only banana bread, she did a pumpkin bread, she did chocolate-covered pretzels, it was all these, and she would make these huge boxes of goodies, and basically send them out, deliver them to all of our friends and family. She doesn't do it anymore, but she had a friend at work that never really talks much, this lady, and she says, if I bring you some really ripe bananas, would you please make me some banana bread? And Barb thought it was the sweetest thing. It was just because the lady's very quiet. She doesn't really talk much, but she never asked her to do anything. And she said, if I bring you ripe bananas, would you please? She goes, of course. Yeah, just bring them and I'll make it for you. No problem. And, that's an assembly line kind of,
it was nuts.
You can't do anything else for a few days, you know?
Delivering that one last loaf today, having breakfast with a great friend of mine, so that would be super. And then off on Wednesday and back Saturday. I'm not gone long. But Trans-Siberian was good over the weekend. They finally are using inside drones.
Yeah.
That was like,
wow, cool.
Wow, if one of those things falls.
Interesting.
Because, I mean,
that does happen.
It was really pretty cool. Yeah. I saw one I thought go off to the side. I don't know if it was the lead one or whatever, but it didn't follow all the other ones. But the singers are up there, and these things are buzzing. Now, again, it could be 10, 15 feet away, but, man, I'm telling you, it looked like it was 5 feet. In fact, Angus was up there.
Angus Clark, the guitarist.
Great guitarist.
Yeah.
And they're like, they're sort of like, as they're playing guitar, sort of reaching out their hands. I'm like, they're going to try to touch one?
Yeah.
Let's go. It was hilarious.
Wow.
But
I think some of those drones have a recall thing, if like a low battery recall where it goes back to the base automatically or something.
Yeah, one went off to the side.
Yeah.
One went off to the side, and nobody seemed, I'm watching it. I'm not even paying attention to the music. I'm like, where the hell's that one drone going?
Yeah. Where's that drone? Is it taking pictures of me? What are these kids trying to do?
Is that thing going to fall on some?
Yeah.
I'm thinking some woman with huge, big Texas hair, and the thing lands and.
Well, you know what it's going to do? It's going to explode, and through the sparks is going to walk Yngwie Malmsteen, and then it just.
But they were really small.
Yeah.
And lit, so it was really, really cool. And they did a bunch of things, like they did almost a Christmas tree over one of the singers' heads, which was. And this was at the opposite end. You know how they've got the stage and they have the opposite. At the opposite end, they have, the lift that brings people up, or they do something. They did it way over there,
right?
Which I thought probably was a smart move to do. You had much more control of it. Right. But it was funny because I kept looking towards this. Everybody was paying attention to the drones, and all of a sudden you realize you're looking like, oh, there's flames, there's lasers on the other side, and it's like, okay, I'll see more of that here. Is she going to be able to finish this song, and the drone's going to get caught in her hair? That's all I kept thinking.
It's like, well, it's weird because do you remember the laser shows they used to do? They would come to this auditorium and watch the laser show to the music of Pink Floyd and everything else. And it turned out, it didn't really work out very well. It was impressive at the time, but it didn't really catch on. It didn't really become hugely popular. In fact, the last one I saw was really bad, and it was done to the music of the Osmonds. That was the first bad choice. And then at the end, the lasers spelled no refunds. And so I just thought, well, you just have to. But our city used to do, after their Christmas tree lighting, an actual fireworks display. But the last couple of years, they've done drones instead. They don't do
but the drones are quite impressive.
The drones,
how they computerize that and do all that.
I worked with an organization that did this at an event, a huge event, and we were in Wyoming. So we pretty much had the whole state. It's just a wide open state, right? But this field adjacent to this activity center we were at was huge, and they were setting up all day. And I was talking to the operator, and they were going to do the show that evening as we closed up the event. That was the most impressive thing that I had seen in a long, long time, because this field was huge, and it must have been it took up most of a football field. So it was wild how they pulled this thing off. It was really, really impressive.
In 10 years, I can't imagine what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
And then they use fireworks. They actually shoot fireworks sometimes out of the drones now. That's the next thing that they're doing, which is just really, really incredible to see. But all in all, was a good weekend, and looking forward to Christmas week as everybody else is here. And in fact, coming up, we do have a great Christmas audio cut.
All right. Good.
Coming up
Yeah, I
next.
got to see Mom and Dad, all of their children under one roof for the first time in a long time on Sunday. It was a great day. We just had a great visit with Mom and Dad and hung out. And at the end, they brought me out a birthday cake because we weren't all going to be together before my birthday coming up, and that was very nice. And we had a great meal and a great visit. It was a pleasant surprise because we didn't know it was going to happen until Friday. So it was like, okay, have to rearrange some things. Sunday is a work day for us, but I was still able to get some things done, and also have a great visit with Mom and Dad and my sister and brothers. It was very nice.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We are Red Eye Radio.
Brought to you by Hot Shot Secret.
Hi, I'm Jen Loomis, a transport safety expert at J.J. Keller. Compliance, Safety, Accountability is the FMCSA Safety, Compliance, and Enforcement Program. Its goal is to hold motor carriers and drivers accountable for highway safety. CSA does this by assessing the safety performance of motor carriers and drivers. Motor carriers are assigned a score. The carrier is then grouped with other carriers who have had a similar number of safety events. Carrier scores within the group are then ranked. Low scores are better, so carriers with the highest scores are those that are most likely to be targeted for intervention by the FMCSA. Interventions range in severity and may include warning letters, roadside, off-site, or on-site inspections, civil penalties, or operation out-of-service orders. This tip was brought to you by J.J. Keller and Associates. Visit us at jjkeller.com.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
We're Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. I sent this to you over the weekend, and I kept laughing. I played this probably 10 times and laughed for a half hour because it was just so dang funny. And this was a comedian, Pete Holmes, talking about, the fact he doesn't want to offend anybody. This time of the year, Merry Christmas. You really can't say that. So he's found a new way to do it, and here it is.
Merry Christmas can go either way, and I hate to offend people. So this whole last holiday season, I didn't let out one Merry Christmas. That's true. Instead, I said, may the birth of the one and only true God Jesus Christ bestow a blessing of grace and peace upon your household to the belittlement of every other false religion.
That had so many layers of punch. It was so funny.
I know that's the point. It kept getting bigger and bigger. I mean, that's a great number one. It's a great twist, which is always great comedy. But then it had layer after layer after layer.
There's an old bit by comedian Nate Bargatze, and he goes, I'm a Christian. He goes, but he goes, I don't think that I'm better than you. If you're not a Christian, I don't think I'm better than you. But Jesus does. but this one kept going.
And when he ends
the big end there was
to the belittlement of every other false religion. I mean, that was the clincher. I mean, that's just I woke up to that's what I Friday morning when I woke up. That's what I woke up to, and finally I said, "I got to send this to Eric."
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's just too good. I mean, that's a great comedy, but it's interesting because I saw it on X, and I had to search in the comments to find out who is this guy.
Yeah.
Peter Holmes is his name, but what a
just
absolutely
just hilarious.
Great line.
I love that. Hilarious.
Catch Red Eye Radio live every night on the Red Eye Radio app. Available in the App Store. Red Eye Radio.
And he is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Good morning. Download our Red Eye Radio app today, and you can listen when you choose. All right, well, after tomorrow's show, we won't be back till after the new year.
Right. Yeah.
And so, looking at this year and where both political parties are, you saw the numbers yesterday over the weekend, the Democrat approval, at 18%. We had talked about this Friday. And the other thing that they're even underwater with their own voters. Now, that's because I believe the change you've seen, for example, since October, as we mentioned on Friday's show, is the fact that that's the radical left.
Right.
The radical left has now left the Democratic Party because of, any type of compromise with Republicans they just don't want. But I want to play this because this is something that you and I have said for years. And when I saw it, I went, oh, okay, good. Scott Jennings must be listening to our show, because how many times have we said this when analyzing where the Democratic Party is today?
If I can't trust you not to put a boy in a teenage girl's locker room, how will I ever listen to your plan for taxes and the economy?
Right.
I will not, because I've already concluded you're a lunatic.
It really is that, because when you measure, I've heard someone, I forget who said this, but the quote just basically it was repeated over and over, or the sentiment was repeated, and that is, intelligence isn't measured by what you already know. It's also measured by your ability to learn it, right? And so you measure when you think about things like the liberal transgender movement. You think about what they're fighting for right now, these radicals on the left. They're fighting for children to be able to decide, even without their parents, in some cases, to mutilate their own genitalia. And if you are on board for that and you're going to champion that kind of grotesque abuse of children, I can't listen to any other idea that comes from you. And if you're a party that embraces that thought, which the Democratic Party does, and fights for it officially, and they're fighting for it, there's a number of states where the legal battle is on. I can't listen to you on anything else. It's over, done. There is zero room. Because tell me where the middle ground would be on anything.
There isn't, and I want to play this audio from last week. This is Representative Jayapal, speaking about this, and again using the term as that this is part of health care.
Yeah.
It's absolutely the most evil perversion I've seen from politics.
Yeah,
it really is.
It is.
When I think about it, because we're talking about children. Here she is.
And the most common form of gender-affirming care for young people is medications that simply pause puberty and have been used safely for decades. So why do my colleagues across the aisle, so-called limited government people, suddenly want government to get in the way of the decisions that parents and their kids make together?
Because parents have no right to abuse their children because they're parents.
That's right.
End of story.
Right.
You evil, perverted human being, you.
Right.
That's what she is.
Right.
She is as evil and perverted as you can get, and they try to soft sell you it by calling it gender-affirming care.
Right.
It is absolutely the most reprehensible thing, as we have stated before. They don't care. They actually don't care about people that believe that they're transgender.
No.
They don't care. You know how we know? We always go back to the Berkeley professor who was testifying before Congress with Senator Harley, and he was asking her questions. Well, and she said, "By the way, this line of questioning is transphobic." He goes, "How's it transphobic? I'm trying to figure out where you're going here. How do you justify this? What's the science behind it? Please, explain it to me." And she said, "Well, do you believe men can get pregnant?" He goes, "Well, of course not. See, there it is right there, and that's violence. You're promoting violence." "What do you mean I'm promoting violence?" but because transgenders have the highest rate of suicide and attempted suicide. And we're like, so what you're saying is that from what she stated, the
Right.
message is transgenders have huge mental issues, huge mental problems, to the point where if you don't acknowledge them, you're at fault because they'll commit suicide. You're not caring about, we need to give them the help that they need, not enable them.
Right.
Not
To address the mental health crisis.
but to address the mental health crisis, and they go, to hell with that. Just enable whatever thought process they have. And if you even question it as a matter of public policy, well, then you are advocating violence. And in the case of Jayapal, trying to make genital mutilations and irreversible hormone treatments and lying about them,
right.
and then making it, and they're a big big government. I'm okay with big government that says don't abuse children.
Well, it's like, when they were calling for defunding the police, and our friends on the other side of the aisle are wanting. They were against big government, and all of a sudden they want government to enforce the laws.
Exactly.
I
Right.
mean, it's the same thing.
just-
And they pose it as something that is noble. Like this is, again, they use gender-affirming care. They use the word care. No, you don't care. This is a child we're talking about. And the care, if you want to talk care, starts with intense counseling and nothing else until they become an adult.
Right. When they're an adult, they can choose what they wish to do. When they're a child, no one has the right to abuse them.
It's just
No one.
It's just sickening.
It's so pervertedly evil. And the Democratic Party, this is mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
This perverted evilness is mainstream in the Democrat Party.
Yep.
It's not an outlier.
No, they're legally fighting for this.
Yep.
This is a legal battle now, not some kind of discussion or debate about something that they would like to do in the future. This is something they're doing right now, and they're legally battling to protect what they call a right to abuse children.
Yep.
And if you, as a parent, have an objection to it regarding your own child, the left says we want to deem you abusive, and the state should step in.
So where the Democratic Party is right now, it is right there. There's poll after poll after poll. It seems like every month there's a lower number that's out there, so it's not just one poll. I know Hakeem Jeffries said, "Well, that's an outlier." No, it's not.
No.
And so again, when you look at the Democrats, people don't believe that they're the party that can solve the problem, except if the Republicans can't get prices down. That's still the big thing. The other thing over the weekend, and I think it's overplayed, because and again, part of it's anecdotal evidence from all the conservatives that I know, and this is the whole thing we heard over the weekend about Turning Point and whether Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson, Tucker Carlson spoke, Steve Bannon, everything else, and the back and forth between them and Ben Shapiro. Turning Point's got to be careful. They got to be careful, because this whole thing about, all right, we want to be a group where everybody can debate. Well,
Right, yeah.
when it becomes so loud, when it becomes so incredibly loud, some of the questions that was asked to Ben Shapiro was just mind-boggling, ignorant,
Right.
and you could tell was put together by just these are absolute anti-Semitic racists.
Right.
That are out there, and that has no part in the conservative movement. There's been a number of publications talking about Candace Owens saying, and the conservative movement it's not a conservative movement.
No, it isn't.
It's not a conservative movement. It got nothing to do with the conservative movement. Anti-Semitism, racism has no business in the conservative movement at all. If it did become a minor part of Republican Party support, that also has to go. But do not mistake the true conservative movement and put it anywhere near anti-Semitism or racism.
Well, because this thought of, we welcome anyone, we welcome any debate. Well, I don't welcome the idea of bigotry, ever.
No.
And I won't.
And Ramaswamy, sort of made that, if you want to debate, what's going on, but if you want to debate policy in Israel, fine. As soon as you say Joseph Stalin was great, Hitler had some good points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye. Gone.
Yeah.
We don't need that in the form of statements and or questions that are asked.
Right.
But to be honest with you, from what I can see, because I lie most of the other times to you, so I have to be honest now.
Right. We're going to get out the real truth over these next 2 days.
Right, exactly. Tucker Carlson's not a part of the Republican Party anymore. He's not a part of Republican politics. He really isn't. He may be a small part of Turning Point. He may have his own. I almost said blog, podcasting or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not. I don't know anyone, and I'm talking about people like 10 people that I know were the biggest Tucker Carlson fans. He's gone. He's out of there. He's out of it.
Yeah, right.
They don't talk about him anymore. They don't want to talk about him anymore. They don't want to be associated with him anymore. And so inside the arena of ideas what do you call it when we talk about inside Washington, inside the Beltway, whatever.
Right, yeah.
It may be a discussion. It's not really a discussion that you hear on the streets from Republicans.
Right.
They're looking for, how can we get prices down? What do we have to do in order to win in November? They really don't have time for Tucker Carlson. They don't have time. They don't really have time for a Steve Bannon. These people were, maybe movers and shakers 5, 6, 7 years ago. I do not see the Republicans and conservatives that I talk to. They want no part of it at all. And I mean, every single one. Nobody wants a part of it.
Right. Well, and because, again, it comes down to, and it always goes back to the ideas. The people come and go. But in an era where the people are each trying to make this, name for themselves in a bigger and bigger way each time, one of the things that's happened, one of the effects of social media and the social media era, is that every day, in order to get noticed in this this huge sea of people in that social media arena, you're going to have to get louder. You're going to have to say things that are more and more over the top. I can't tell you if these individuals or any individual actually believes what they're saying or not. But I can tell you they're saying these things, so I have to take them at their word. I can't tell you if they're doing it for clicks. I know some are. They're trying to build something. The thing about Charlie Kirk, his work was consistent. Again, not that I agreed with everything that he said or his approach on everything, but the work that he did was consistent from the beginning, from the very moment that he founded Turning Point USA. If it starts changing and starts becoming about other people or personalities, then they do run the risk of losing that mission statement, and it should not be lost. Because it's not, I would say this to anybody on that stage, and Erica is leading it. I believe in my heart of hearts, she believes all of this in the mission statement. She knows better than anyone else on this planet. She knows. But here's what I would say to anybody else on that stage aside from Erica. This is not about you. And it never was. Don't try and make it about you.
We are Red Eye Radio.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. You know, we had talked last week about the scandal in the fraud scandal in Minnesota, and now they're saying they think it may be $9 billion.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh my God.
My dad and I were talking about that just hours ago.
Billion.
Because how does that happen? And I said, well, you know, we've been talking about it at work, you know, on the show, and I said, when it first came out, we were saying, there's no way this is all of it. There has to be more here, and who knows how much more.
Top of the Hour News is brought to you by House Products. Visit houseproducts.com.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One. Now, it's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We're going to have to play that bit again, you know, sometime between,
Oh, yeah.
you know, today and tomorrow.
I'll probably play it, through another time. Couple times today, couple times tomorrow. It's worth doing it. Yes.
It's so funny.
Yeah, we'll play it this hour.
It's so fun, and it's so spot on.
I know.
I mean, when stand-up comedians write bits, when they write jokes, sometimes there is just a joke that just keeps rolling and has these rolling punches, and that's one of them. And it's like more and more punchlines to it. It's just a great bit, so you gotta hear it. We'll play it again. Just great stuff.
You have me searching for it now. Because now I was like, oh, come on, don't keep us waiting.
I know. Okay.
All right, I found it. This is a comedian by the name of Pete Holmes who,
all right, yeah,
said, he basically the bit was he understands that people are offended by Merry Christmas, and
right.
So he's trying to figure a way not to offend people by not saying Merry Christmas. So here we go.
All right.
Merry Christmas can go either way, and I hate to offend people. So this whole last holiday season, I didn't let out one Merry Christmas. That's true. Instead, I said, may the birth of the one and only true God Jesus Christ bestow a blessing of grace and peace upon your household to the belittlement of every other false religion.
I'm telling you, before I sent it to you on Friday, I saw it when I woke up. So there I'm laying in bed. I must have I'm not kidding. I played it 15, 20 times, and I could not stop laughing. It just was so perfect.
Oh my gosh, that is just greatness. Peter Holmes is the comedian there. That's just great. I love that.
Isn't that great?
There's so much great comedy out there right now. This I think is really kind of the golden age of comedy, and if you want clean comedy, I think a lot of people stay away from watching comedians because they don't know if there's like cursing or whatever. There's a lot of clean comedy out there too. I don't know if Peter Holmes works clean all the time. That was a clean joke, but there's a lot of clean comics that are out there. Greg Warren, who's kind of an older guy, he's actually in his late 50s.
Oh, yeah,
and he made his debut on the Tonight Show the other day, last week, and which is a big deal for a stand-up. You get that kind of exposure, and it's big, and he's always funny. Greg Warren, he's got 3 YouTube specials. Dusty Slay, who we talk about quite a bit, he's got 2, or as he would say, well more than 1 specials on Netflix, and that plays into one of his bits. Nate Bargatze, who is on this mission to create clean entertainment for families, and so especially this time of year when you're sitting around with other family members, when you don't know if a comic is gonna, if you're watching comedy or any kind of show or movie, and you don't know it's gonna, if they're gonna curse or not, it's like, but there's a lot of clean comedians
Brad
that are very
Upton
good.
is older.
Oh my gosh, he's great.
He's
Nate Land Entertainment did a special with Brad too. He's
Jeff Allen.
Yeah, Jeff
the
Allen.
Same thing. And
right, yeah.
The thing that's happening is
Aaron Weber.
The thing that is happening with these older comedians, and there's another guy, real older guy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
the
yes.
real old. I can't think of the older guy. He's
my gosh, he's been on Dry Bar.
Yes, yes.
Oh, he's
even older than those guys.
Oh.
You look at him and you're like, this guy looks like he's near 80.
No, he's crushing it.
He's great,
just crushing it.
And the thing, Andy Huggins is his name.
Yes.
King of one-liners is what they call him. But
every line he delivers, it's the look on his face, but he's delivering lines that are hip, and young people are right there in the audience, and they're just laughing.
They're dying. I mean, it's great because and it's interesting because I was thinking, because I just dabbled a little bit. It's interesting because when I read my, AI bio, whatever, stand-up comic, I was never as you and I have said, we dabbled a little bit in stand-up comedy.
I didn't work as a stand-up
right.
comic.
Neither did I. I didn't work. Neither did I. I didn't work it.
I
most of it related.
I did gigs, but it was I wasn't being booked over.
Right.
And over.
Most of it was related to somehow to radio when I went into stand-up.
Same thing.
But it says, when I read it, I'm like, oh, come on, I didn't say that. But it's like, you're going to fight it? If you're going to fight it now? Whatever, just let it go.
Right.
But when I was like 50, I was thinking if I retire at 65, that's what I wanted to do. I said, I'm just going to go to the open mic night as an old man and do it because it would be hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Well, apparently a bunch of other old men had the exact same idea.
Oh, it's, and Greg Warren's been doing it for a while, but it's so funny because he's had experience in his one stand-up special, The Salesman. Again, it's free on YouTube. You can watch it. It's clean comedy. But he worked for Procter & Gamble, and he worked for selling Jif peanut butter. And then he has this big long bit on peanut butter, and it's called The Salesman for a reason because he would, that's what he did. He basically sold it to the stores. He was a rep for that company and for the longest time, and he gets into these stories about when he did that job. Dusty Slay used to sell pesticide, same thing, right? So he would have to go stock the shelves and the whole thing, and talks about pesticide and. There's one bit Dusty did, and a lady comes up and says, I'm looking for something that has no chemicals, but, and no smell, and I don't have to spray it everywhere. And he goes, I think what you're looking for is a shoe. It's like, but they work all these things in of their past lives. Nate Bargatze and his wife met working at Applebee's. They both worked at Applebee's.
But he's still young. He's not. I don't consider him in the old guy genre.
No, he's not. I was speaking of Greg Warren when you brought that up, but these are individuals that understand that there is Nate's getting up there. He's in his mid-40s now, so he's going to have to watch it.
James Gregory is the other guy.
Oh,
he's got a little bit of the accent.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of a southern accent, and he's just. Yeah. These are people that to me they all look like. They're in their 60s, most of them over 70.
Yeah.
Maybe some closing in on 80. But the thing...
and James Gregory passed away last year, but he started years ago. I mean, he's been around for a long time.
I've just started seeing him.
He went viral for some reason.
He's gone viral the last
years.
6 months.
Yeah.
I've seen him all over the place, and he's just... He was a funny guy.
Yeah.
And I guess it's, I think the thing you think of is you can be a curmudgeon.
Yeah.
You're much better being a complainer as an old guy on stage and making it funny than doing that. I don't think you can do a lot of the same comedy if you're in your 30s and look young.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
And that's it. You know, because you could there are things you can complain about, and if you find an innovative way to complain about it, you know, and like for me, you know, if I'm going out on my porch saying, "Hey, you kids, get out of my yard," it's not that I want them off my grass. It's that an ambulance might have to show up at any moment. You might be in their way. So at my age, you need to stay out of the way. These are things that I look for when I'm looking at comedy. What I want to see is genuine. I do watch comics that aren't clean, but there are a lot of people, again, especially this time of year. If you're visiting someone or they're visiting you, you got a room full of people, and it's like, oh, I don't know if I can. You know, there's a lot of stuff you can't play, but when you know it's clean comedy, you can put it up there. And a couple of comics have kind of converted over the past few years and started working clean. Brian Regan talks about it. He said, you know, I used a curse word, you know, one time and it was part of the punchline. He said, it just sounded odd because it was the only place in my entire routine that I used one. And he said, so I just stopped doing it. He goes, it's just the way I work. So he's been one of the known clean comics for the longest time. Nate Bargatze, I think there was one or two slight curse words that he used very early on when he was working in New York City. But it's good to see this rise of a whole lot of clean comics that are out there.
But that Peter Holmes pitch is what a great bit on Merry Christmas. So.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
All right, coming up, we were talking about where we are right now, which is going into 2026, because we'll be on tomorrow and then we're done. I will say this: when you look at the right in this country now, whatever the right is, whether it's moderate Republican all the way over, I look at this and I've just noticed over the last couple of weeks. There's just Milton Friedman quotes all over the place.
Right.
And this one came up. Now, remember, this probably is a half century old, but It's the exact same thing because why? Basically, this is economics. It's people care about their own self-interest. We, quote, we would like to see government spending go down, provided it's not spending that benefits us. We would all like to see deficits reduced, provided it is through taxes imposed on others, end of quote. That's where the Republican Party is right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's where the right is right now.
Mm-hmm.
The right lives in the right lives. Conservatives don't. I mean, people that are true conservatives. I'm talking about the politics of the Republican Party. We hear it all the time. We talked about the polling that was done where people believe that we can cut the budget 40%, just get rid of foreign aid.
Yeah.
But everything else, they couldn't find even a majority of Republicans that said cut. In fact, everything else, the majority of Republicans said we need to spend more money on it. The things that they believed that they would benefit from, and that's where we are. And Democrats are taking advantage of that right now. Democrats know, for example, they're very optimistic now after Republicans join them, that they're going to keep the tax credits going for Obamacare.
Yep.
Obamacare is a massive failure. There was an article, I think, in the New York Times saying the only option this family has is a $43,000 premium. That's Obamacare failing. Obamacare has failed. Democrats are the ones that only created Obamacare, and the temporary subsidies that were supposed to go up and to help even the upper middle class were supposed to be temporary because of COVID. They now wish to extend. They communicate that Obamacare is a huge failure, but they realize the public doesn't care as long as the public doesn't have to pay the cost of it. As long as somebody else pays the cost, well, what do we really care? And we knew it, and we got flack by Republicans, but we were right. In 2017, the Republicans had a chance to repeal Obamacare. The only thing they could get is repeal the mandates, not the benefits, because Republicans like getting stuff cheaper.
Right. That was it.
Which means somebody else is paying for it.
Well, you and I had been hearing from, so-called conservatives, and I do believe they weren't liberals posing as conservatives on the phone. I do believe that it was a number of them. It was consistent that after the 2009 recession, they were talking things like, well, if the banks got their bailout, I want mine. And then we started hearing things like, well, maybe we need to look at single-payer system. We need to cut out this and we need to cut this out and everything else. And and that's when I knew. I mean, we go back to 2005 when you and I started. One of our first nights together, and your head almost exploded when Tom DeLay said, you conservatives need to pipe down because we've cut all we can cut from spending. And, it was maddening then. We got flack then. Remember, in George W. Bush's second term.
Oh, yeah.
It was, and we were criticizing, and we had conservatives and Republicans. We still get those every once in a while. Well, you can't criticize the right. You can't criticize. Yes, we can. I can criticize the very people that I vote for.
I can vote for somebody yesterday and criticize them today if they're not doing what I wish for them to do.
Right.
And that's going to happen because even the most conservative Republican probably is only 70% as conservative / libertarian as I am.
Right.
So I'm always going to complain about the other 30%. Look, somebody has to tell the truth. Somebody has to promote true conservatism and libertarian values. There's enough people that will kiss the ass of any Republican president, no matter who they are, over and over again. That's never going to be us. It never was. It never is.
Right.
And we know it's tough. I even talked to my sister one time. She said, I know you have to criticize it, but I just hate criticizing the Republicans, even when I know when I'm wrong, because the Democrats will take advantage of that. And my answer was, but the Democrats are taking advantage of the Republican weakness now.
Right. Yes.
They're taking advantage of it. I mean, the reason we're talking about it is because they have a legit shot with the public. Think about this, with the public agreeing basically with everything that the Republicans do. When you look at it, where on the actual issues, except maybe prices, Democrats shouldn't be getting how insane they are. You see the popularity of Democrats over the weekend. They should be getting no more than 30% of the vote.
Right.
And they're competitive.
Yep.
There's a reason for it. And if people wish to bury their heads in the sand and just go, I'm not going to hear it, I don't hear it, I don't hear it, well, that's up to you. To me, that's cowardly.
Right.
You have to address where your party's weakness is in order to win in the future. And to sit there and say, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, I don't hear you, I don't hear you, to me is childish.
Yep. It is.
We are Red Eye Radio.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
Charcuterie boards are a popular offering at holiday parties and family gatherings, not only this season, but all year round for various events. Yet USDA food safety expert Meredith Carruthers reminds us that charcuterie menu and presentation requires the 4 considerations of food safety.
Clean, separate, cook, and chill.
Starting with clean hands and utensils and continued washing during food prep.
Separate is going to be keeping any raw meat and poultry products separate from those foods that are ready to eat.
Separate utensils as needed for individual items as well. Chill and charcuterie means if foods are left out beyond 2 hours at room temperature,
it needs to be tossed, unfortunately.
We forgot cook and food safety. Rare for charcuterie, yes, but in some cases,
chicken tenders and chicken nuggets on a board
must be checked by a food thermometer to make sure they are cooked to a proper internal temperature to eliminate foodborne bacteria. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90-RED-EYE.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. So, yeah, I mean, the Republican Party, when you look at the actual issues, the majority of Americans agree with the Republicans on the issues.
Yeah.
The only problem they have right now is prices. That's it.
Yes. Right.
I don't see anything else. Do you?
No.
I'm trying to think
if
if I'm missing something, but I mean that's it. The Democrats are just a complete and total mess.
Yeah.
In fact, we'll get to Hakeem Jeffries, the Quinnipiac poll. Well, that's an outlier poll.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
It's the only answer that you have. But where are we right now is what we're talking about, and right now is 2026. As we're on tomorrow, and then we're out of here to the new year.
Right.
Where's this all going to go?
Happy holidays. Have some eggnog. Red Eye Radio.
You like eggnog.
I love eggnog.
You're an eggnog fan.
Yeah, but I have to limit it.
Yeah. It's got a lot of sugar in it. Do they
Yeah.
they make a protein eggnog?
No.
No.
Would you feed a starving dog a rubber bone?
What kind of dog is it, and whose dog
No,
is it?
they've got the they've got the coconut eggnog, the coconut milk and
milk eggnog.
almond milk, and no, it's
Locally sourced, fair trade.
free range.
Yeah.
I only
free range eggnog.
I only drink free range nog.
Free range non-egg. No egg.
No, I've had some. I was thinking of getting one more quart to last me, through New Year's.
Yeah, right.
Because I do it. You come into my house, you see a lot of shot glasses, but it's not really for alcohol. It's for things that I can't drink because it's got so much sugar.
Right.
Like for example, if I want orange juice,
Yeah.
I'll pour just a tiny little shot glass
of orange juice
and sip it.
Yeah. Right.
Just because I love orange juice, but
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
they
you
they
can't.
were making the stuff. I don't see it anymore. They were making the stuff a couple years ago that was like
Lower sugar.
the half sugar. I haven't
sugar.
seen that in either of the supermarkets that I go to. But I mean,
Yeah.
that was great. But yeah, so I have shot glasses for eggnog, and I sip on the eggnog.
Yeah.
Because I love the taste of it.
Right.
But that's the kind of I could drink. You could give me a quart of eggnog, and I could drink it in one sitting.
Yeah.
And then my stomach would be like, ugh.
Yeah.
Don't go to sleep anytime soon.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Don't lay flat on my back for any length of time.
I've never been a big fan of
absolutely
eggnog.
addicted to it. I don't know what
Yeah.
it is. I don't know what the taste of it is.
What's the alcohol? What alcohol do they mix with eggnog? I guess you could mix anything.
I've
is it
never
rum?
had.
Is it?
I've
is it,
never
what
had.
do they put in it?
I have never had alcohol with eggnog.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like
me either.
wait.
Well, because
It
I don't
perverts-
drink, but
it perverts the taste.
yeah. Well.
I
Yeah, exactly. It perverts the taste of the rum, and that's the problem I would have with it. I've always seen that as it's like, we'll just make all these mixed drinks. It's like, just listen, barkeep, leave the bottle.
No.
I don't need anything. I don't need Kool-Aid mixed in with it.
Eric, I'm not going to destroy my life through alcohol.
Yeah.
Just massive, huge blood sugar spikes.
Yeah, right.
It's
Yeah.
like type 2 diabetic.
Yeah.
That's
It's like-
how I want to go.
Well, I don't drink, but in the times in my younger years when I had a cocktail or two, I really didn't ever see the point of mixing it in with something, because I thought, well, what's the point? Yeah, you'd have to drink again the full quart of eggnog to get a couple of shots in. Well, just do a couple of shots and then chase it with the eggnog.
Yeah.
Margaritas are the same thing. It's like, I don't need the Kool-Aid. Just give me the tequila. I'll do the tequila, and then I'll do a shot of Kool-Aid chaser.
What I've gotten a taste for lately is, those little bottles of club soda.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't know
Yeah.
why I like it so much, but it's like it's even better, because I was getting an addiction to, a little bit of the Coke Zero.
Yeah, right.
Just because it tastes like regular Coke.
Right. Yeah.
But so I got, the small 6-pack of the club soda. I'm like, this is really good. Went in the store the next day or a couple days later and got another 6-pack.
Yeah.
It was tonic water, and I didn't know it until I.
It's
right next to the club soda.
Okay.
Like, my God, who the hell ever made tonic water?
Yeah.
Well, what use is tonic water?
Yeah.
It's the worst tasting stuff I've ever had in my life. And when you're expecting the clear, refreshing club soda feel with a little bit of the carbonation, and you get the tonic water bitter taste.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not good.
No. There's a brand, Topo Chico, which is they said it says on the packaging it has natural, what do you call it? Bubbles, the bubbles in it, the carbonation.
Natural carbonation.
Yeah, so this is naturally carbonated, and I love that stuff. But then they started making an alcoholic version of it, and I thought, okay, well, that's kind of, I don't drink, but I thought, you had in my opinion, a good brand going, and it's because all of the malt liquor stuff where they do we talked about this before, the hard sodas and all of that. It's like, nah, I don't get that.
I only drink a little, but 24/7 a day.
That's right. Yeah.
So
how many, Richie Cunningham? How many? Well, they were just tiny little beers. How many did you have? 72. I love that episode. Yeah.
All right. So where are we? And we've gone through this. Where are we going into the new year? Because we're on tomorrow.
Yeah.
The Republicans on the issues actually in great shape. Whether they can win next year, we will see. Great shape, except for prices.
Yeah.
For prices is the thing that will bring you down.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens next year because people talk about, well, the economy's better. The only economy that matters right now. It can be different at different, stages, in life, but right now it's prices. The economy is prices.
Yep.
It doesn't matter whether the stock market's booming.
Right.
Doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
It didn't matter back with Biden. Not that it doesn't at times matter. The employment doesn't matter.
Right.
What matters is prices. That's it. And will the Republicans do the right thing, and will they be able to get prices down, or will they face the consequences of it? Because the American public, I believe, man, I hope I'm wrong, would be willing to vote for the most radical policies out there as long as they're upset at the party in power that they actually agree with on all the issues, but the prices aren't there, they'll put the radicals in.
Yep.
But
it always goes back to the economy. Always goes back to the economy.
That's a reality where we are. And over the weekend, with the polling that has come out showing the Democrats again at record low ratings, the media even brings it up. This is Hakeem Jeffries on ABC yesterday.
All right.
Actually, the Democrats in recent polls are actually faring worse than the Republicans. Take a look at a Quinnipiac poll out just this week. Shows that Democrats have their lowest approval rating in the poll's 15-year history. Only 18% give Democrats a high approval rating in the handling of the economy. Only 18%, 73% disapproval. What are you doing wrong?
Well, clearly that's an outlier poll.
No.
They can't.
No.
Well, on the issues, the public looks at them at the issues and says, you guys are nuts. And
Right.
as we've said before, that's why we started out the show with, if you want to know where the Democratic Party is, it was Scott Jennings in the audio plane saying, look, if they believe that a man should be able to invade a woman's, private space, if they believe that a man can be a woman, then how could you trust them on any other issue
Right.
out there? And
Right.
we've stated that. The reason we play that is we've been saying that for decades now.
Yes.
That, that's the point. If you are completely insane, perverted, and untruthful in a particular issue, then how can I trust you on anything else?
Right.
How can I trust you?
Right.
And what we've gone, through when you look at this. Before we get to that, before we get to the actual issues on it, but the Republicans, for example, the Elise Stefanik debacle in New York. What happened there? She said, and Trump has not denied it. She went to Trump, said, "I want to run." Okay, you've got it. She assumed she had his endorsement,
Right.
and then the Mamdani Love Fest, as some Republicans in New York are calling it, going, why did he have to do that?
Right.
Why did he, if you want to meet with him, fine, but you say, no, we've got differences here, and that's why, we need more Republican leadership, whatever, because it was too friendly. And then when you had Bruce Blakeman, the Nassau County executive, who decided to run, when Trump was asked about it, he said, well, I like both candidates. It's like, you can't do that. And the whole point is you don't want a huge, long primary in New York eating up valuable money, especially when you believe that you have a potentially very vulnerable governor in there right now. Now, did I have high hopes that Elise Stefanik could beat Kathy Hochul? No, I don't. Liberalism is so entrenched, and the people that are moving out of New York probably are more conservative to begin with and reject what's going on. These states are going to stick by their insane policies. I haven't seen anybody upset since Kathy Hochul said, well, I might consider the corporate tax rate.
Right.
Because you've got a significant portion of Republicans in New York that say, okay, we can't fight that. What do you mean you can't fight it? You can't say, look, when you raise corporate tax rates, you hurt the poor and the most because it's a stealth tax passed on. How immoral is that? Why do we let ourselves be BS'd over and over again? Where are the Republicans stating that over and over and over again? Why should you pay for what the people in New York want? But the Democrats simply go, let's just make it corporate taxes because the people are idiots, and even Republicans are afraid to confront what corporate taxes really are.
Well,
they're a stealth tax on the population that buys products.
And I think we said when we were talking about that, the GOP has this great opportunity. I would plaster that all over the state.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily have to spend a ton of ad money to get it out there now. The messaging can be done through your surrogates. The messaging can be done through social media and a number of ways. And you put that out there because you want that seed planted right now. Mamdani's going to be sworn in here in a few days. And it's all going to start rolling the way that we said it's going to start rolling. That they're going to reach out. They're going to get the people of New York State once again to be paying for all these agenda items for New York City. And now you've got, the thing about Stefanik is that she was a fighter in Congress. And when she said the other day, well, I'm dropping out of the governor's race, and I'm not going to run. I'm not also going to not going to run again in Congress. I thought to myself, that's a complete abandonment. That is, you know what? And she cited family reasons and the whole thing, and that's great. And I believe that in part, but I think there's also a bigger reason, and that is, you know what? Time to sideline for a moment, because what do you trust remember when Stefanik was being talked about for a couple of positions, I think, in the cabinet during the transition after last year's election, and I forget what it was. And then the idea came back that, well, no, we really need her on Capitol Hill to be the fighter, right? We need her as one of the fighters on Capitol Hill because she's done a good job. That was
you
coming
needed her.
from the
You
Trump,
needed her
Trump
vote.
camp. Well, you needed her vote, but she was one of those fighters that was really, supporting Trump and all in and the whole thing. But the point was that was coming. That message was coming from Trump. Then all of a sudden, I like both candidates, and she's left out in the cold. She doesn't know where to go. And again, it's like, okay, you're going to spend all that time, and you're probably not going to have the Trump's full support behind you. Then where do you go with that? I don't think she's done forever, but she's done for the meantime, and that's a problem.
We are Red Eye Radio.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. I think this is a possibility for Elise Stefanik. She doesn't know where the Republican Party is going.
No, I think that's a strong possibility.
I think that's a question right now. I don't know where the Republican Party is going. How can Trump not make a decision on me in New York?
Yeah.
Where is he going with endorsements? What in the world is going on here?
Well, and where's the rest of the party going?
I'm the one. And when you look at the cluster that still continued over the weekend, not that the public is paying attention to it, but the Epstein thing still is such a massive failure by the Trump administration.
And
it was just, they took something that was absolute victory and completely screwed it up.
No, I when I said sidelined earlier, I think she's on the sidelines. I don't think she's done, but I think right now it's like, man, I don't know what's going on right now in the landscape.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.